Supporting clubs, supporting communities.
In a different world, 125 years ago, an association was founded that would change our cultural landscape forever. At its heart was a simple idea that the parish could be the building block of a national movement. Today, in an era of sprawling suburbs and dormitory towns, the GAA still brings communities together in a way which is unique and unchanging. There are over 2,000 GAA clubs, each with a story to tell. This is a snapshot of the pride of the parish.
This used to be our swimming pool when we were small, the River Shannon. The other end of the footbridge is County Clare, and 2 miles up the road in that direction is County Tipperary. The sandwich in between is our part of County Limerick, an area synonymous with the names of Hickey, Power, probably the most famous of them all, Mackey. This is the home of my club, Ahane.
The 30s and 40s were a glorious era for hurling in Limerick. While the county won 3 All-Irelands, the club of Ahane clocked up 15 county titles in 18 years. It was a past spangled with stars, none of whom shone brighter than Mick Mackey. Today, Ahane celebrates the brothers Ollie and Niall Moran as once it revered Mackey. But the brothers are setting out to unearth more facts and footage about the man who brought fame and glory to their small fold of Limerick land. Ollie begins the quest at the village shop in Castleconnell.
This is the crossroads, and you'll meet all types and all peoples and all kinds of people here.
This is like, I suppose, the pre-incarnation of the internet, like, 'cause this is where all the information kind of circulates. This is the hub, I suppose. It's Google Lee they should have called him, because if you want to know anything, it's Google Lee, you go to George Lee.
They want to know about all our county championships and all our great success down here down through the years.
The great Mick Mackey.
That's it. Now
Jackie
you have
Power.
it. Now you have it.
That's it. Paddy Scanlon in
You see,
goal.
there you are. What I'm saying is, a man who's the other side of town knows all about us.
Yes, West Limerick.
Wesley, proud of it.
Proud of it.
The Hamas of Limerick hurling.
That's it. That's it.
West Limerick. I was always say it's like a tattoo. When you get a tattoo first, when you get the old hand tattoo on you first, there's no laser going to take it off you.
Okay, for once in your life, lads, let's start realising what that crest is about there. Okay, it's about a hand. It's not about this current crop, it's about all the teams that have gone down through the years. And you are the guys that are now going out and you represent them. You represent the Mackeys, you represent the Scanlons, the Herberts, all the names that have gone down through a hand. Now you're 16 years of age, enough of you guys are men at this stage. You're playing a team from Clare that are coming down because they think they're playing against the Mackeys and the Scanlons and the Herberts and all these guys. But you're the guys they're playing, so you represent those guys. Right, hold your shape now, you're being pulled everywhere at the ball.
For Niall, the jersey confers its own responsibility on the generations who inherit the right to wear it.
He's fairly animated there on the sideline, as you can hear. You know, he's delivering a few home truths there. But that's Niall's way. You know, he's very intense on and off the field, like, and you know, he likes to give his all. And fellas look up to him here too on the panel.
It has to start coming back now. Do the simple things.
It's everybody's responsibility. Bring through a next generation. If we allow the thing to be neglected, then like we're faced now going into intermediate or junior level. And for a club that we think we have here, and the club that we know we have, that's never going to be a possibility. We can't allow it to happen. So under 16 level is a critical age here. I suppose the key in any club is taking young fellas from maybe the age of 15 to 18. That's why we're involved in this age group. The key is if we can get them through the next 2 years, we know once you have them at minor level, we're going to have them at senior level.
Please call Trier, Jerry Pickett. Couldn't do a programme in a hand without talking to this man. He's 85 years of age, and would you believe he's still doing upholstering?
While spending decades covering Limerick furniture, Jerry Pickett has also been covering the walls of his workshop, documenting over 60 years of hurling in Limerick and Ahane. He is the honorary life president of the club. His hero is Mick Mackey.
Genuflect there in front of the king. The greatest man that ever stood in the field.
He's a powerful man. I suppose the men back then they were a lot stronger and more powerful than...
God above in heaven, sure he met the Tipperary back line there, and they were all 6-footers, and he was only about 5'7" or 8 or 10.
All he was, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd go through them. There's the 1940 All-Ireland team. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Ahane men.
This is Timmy
Ryan Goodboy. And I took that photograph myself in 45.
45.
Scanlon would poke out the ball, Timmy would double it in the centre field, and to be gone down into the forwards in 2 strokes. Now it has to take about 6, and they tell you hurling is better.
Like even you come into a place like this today, the photos are everywhere. And as I often say, when things are going well or things are going bad, there's always that weight of expectation. Like that, you have to always answer to likes of Jerry there. If they're not winning county finals, the likes of Jerry need to be told why, and they don't take no for an answer.
They want to pull up their socks.
We're doing our best though, Jerry.
Yeah.
We do our best. Unfortunately, Jerry has very high expectations. See, that's the one problem with Jerry remembering all the good days.
Yeah.
The farming's a massive way of life. Farming and hurling, yeah. Like you're there and you're out in the open and you're running after old calves or yearlings after breaking through fences. Kinda just good old preparation for going out to playing a hurling match, you know. It's a lot of work. A lot of guys around here getting out of cows too, and I suppose even in terms of Ahane, it might change the type of player that we're developing, because as we become closer to the city and more urbanised, you're losing the old fellow with a bit of raw, the old rural fellow with a bit of raw strength. And it's good to have a couple of them in any team, like.
Come on, let's help. Come on, up again. Come on, let's help.
Hey, it's true to say, I suppose when we were young fellas come home from matches, that when we played bad games, we'd be compared to greyhound pups. I.e., if we were pups, we'd be drowned. So I think our biggest critics, thankfully for us, are at home. Would you agree with that?
Well, I always said anyway that you'd always hear my voice with 60,000 people if you were going wrong anyway.
Yeah. You'd always hear it, you mightn't have to listen to it though.
That's right.
You never saw Mackie play, did you?
No, I never seen Mackie play at all, no. I didn't see Mackie. Mackie was, his last game I believe was in 51 or 52 in a club championship down in Brussels, Kane, I think.
Is there clips of Mackie?
Nobody seemed to have, well, a lot of the old boys have seen him play, but I don't think any of the young people in my age group would have seen him play, and know very little about him.
There's no footage whatsoever. At least with Ring, there's footage. So there's nothing, so like we're only working on photos and folklore. Like that's the problem, like if stories die out, that's Mackie dies out. Surely there's more than that.
The club hit barren spells after the Mackey era. In such times, the most attention gets paid to the source, the local primary schools.
Dropping down to local school. Heard there's a big local derby going on today. Two of the local schools, my own school, Lisnagroy, are playing Castleconnell National School, managed by the local shopkeeper. So there's normally skin and hair flying at these games, so hopefully we won't be disappointed at this match anyway. Seems to be a big crowd. I think they're expecting some fireworks now later on.
Come on, Declan, up again, well done.
Paul Kennedy has been here in the school for the last 34, 35 years. For a lot of us, I think he gave us our first hurley, he gave us our first ball. It's been a good 15, 20 years since I've been back here. That was just the jersey I gave the school there a couple of years ago. I was privileged enough to go to Argentina, so on an All-Stars trip. I doubt maybe I would have been lucky enough or fortunate enough to go on trips like that and maybe won All-Stars were it not for the amount of work that Paul had definitely done for me.
I'll say
he's a good goalie, this fella.
Good. Most, if not all of these, will play for the club. Number 8, Paddy Morrissey.
Jeez, he's a lovely hurler, yeah.
He will play for Limerick someday.
Oh, jeez, he's brilliant.
His father doesn't make him play for Tipperary. That's the only problem.
Polluted, huh?
The schools in the area continue to feed the club of Ahane. For George Lee, days like this are about harvesting the future.
You can only make a good player a small bit better, but you can bring the weak lad on, and the sky is the limit, like with him, like, you know, because the weak guy, if he sees himself getting a bit of attention, will soak it all up. To make that player at senior level stay in the club, remember there's lots of other attractions. He has to really enjoy himself at underage, and most of all, when the young lad goes home and he meets Daddy, and Daddy says to him, "Why are you playing?" the answer has to be yes. And the onus is on us as coaches is to bring that young lad to the standard where he can compete along with Ali. Hi sir, Esther now. Esther's going to cut it here. Yeah. Esther, will you cut me €2 of corned beef?
Give me £half, Esther.
£half.
The boys are the future. In the present, Ahane have league games to win. Every performance must match the demands of tradition.
The cornerstone of our life for us at home has been hurling with a hand. Everybody likes to know where they've come from and who they are and what they are. I think in order for us to fully appreciate who we are, I just think we need to see something of Mackie. So I'm going to make a stab at trying to find something.
Vera Mulcahy is John Mackey's daughter and Mick Mackey's niece.
Vera, that's some serious photo now. The tip boys are obviously throwing an old dart at him, I think, were they?
Obviously, I'd say a tough Munster Championship match.
That'd be John, obviously, there. You see the fair hair in him, Vera,
yes, that's my dad. This photograph intrigues me. In all their years playing, of the two of them in a club kit or a county jersey, Mick and John, that's the only copy of a photograph of the two brothers.
John was an absolute fabulous hurler, and I suppose people, like, there's probably people when they see Mackie, they think Mick, but John was equally as good by everybody's recollection that you meet, even in Ahane.
Well, I rooted out an old videotape that was given to me by an uncle of mine about 10 or 12 years. It's not of Mick playing or John, it's an interview from the 1960s.
Okay.
Never before, and arguably only once since, has there been such a player. Even now, 40 years later, there is magic in the name Mick Mackey.
All our team were in their own positions. Like, they were all better than any of them, actually, in their day.
He's confident, devil.
Yeah, now.
It was harder in our time, anyhow. It was more shoulder-to-shoulder business. And the tackling, I'd say, was closer and possibly hard.
He was a tough boy.
Would you agree in your time that you charged with the ball, that you took it and charged past, that you went through backs rather than round them?
Well, I wasn't a bit particular anyway.
I like his style there now.
He took no prisoners.
I loved hurling. Of course, it was only natural that my father had been hurling, my grandfather. But I liked hurling, really, and I found it very easy. It came very easy to me.
Mick was more the showman, the Muhammad Ali. He liked to play to the crowd, whereas my father, John, was the more retiring type of person.
Whether or not Mackey went on too long, was a greater player than Ring, or surpassed present-day players, is debatable. The great pity is that he came before television, and his greatness can only live on in the minds of those who saw him.
It is a massive pity that he played before television, because it's still a pity that people don't get to see him in action. I think it's his actions as opposed to his words that will live forever in people's minds.
Ahane's greatest son is commemorated by the Mackey stand at the Gaelic grounds in Limerick. The club with whom he won 15 county titles in his time added only one more in the 50 years after his retirement in 1948. unacceptable for many in a club with such a proud history.
Ahane was county titles number 16. They have to go back to 1955 for the last success. Their first title was 1931 and they dominated the championship in the 30s.
Ollie and Niall Moran were part of the revival.
Towards Morrissey position, held inside, opportunity for the shot, a goal! A great goal by John Morrissey!
The club were back in the Gaelic grounds on county final day. That was a massive occasion, and the fact that, you know, we won on that day as well was huge. It was very, very hard ever to surpass 98. I think ultimately you're judged on can you retain your title.
It's now won by Ollie Moore. Hoisting this one high. It's going to be close. That's a truly magnificent point. Ahane in front by 3 points and it's all over. Ahane retain their title.
Ahane added another county title in 2004. The club had the same manager for all 3 wins.
There's a weight of responsibility down on top of everyone's shoulders who decides to become involved with senior hurling, whether you're a player or you're operating the jerseys or you're a selector or you're involved in management or training. There's a massive weight of responsibility. And the fact that Ahane are possibly the most successful team in Limerick, well then you don't want to be a member of the generation that you allow some other team to overtake you. I played in a Munster minor hurling final in Thurles in 1977 and Mick Mackey was in the stand. I was talking to him before it, but it was like you had the world's expert looking down on top of you and you knew you had to achieve and try and perform under that. All you need name, say, is Ahane. And if people haven't heard of Ahane, you say Mick Mackey, and they cock up the eyes straight away. so it's great to have it at the back of you.
Niall's quest for footage brings him to London.
I suppose every kid from Ahane has been reared on stories of Mackey throughout all the years. I suppose we have stories, and whilst there's a lot of photos to go with Mackey, you've seen his jerseys, you've seen his hurleys. One thing that I've been amazed to discover in recent times is that we have no archive footage of Mick Mackey, even in Croke Park, let alone Croke Park, it's not even in Ireland. So here we are in England, we think we've discovered some footage from the 30s and 40s, and if we can get this home, it's going to be amazing. Just in case any of the faces that I mightn't recognise them, I have this photo as a backup. Here you have the 1940 team, that second last Limerick team actually, who won the All-Ireland. There's my own godfather, McKickey. There's Mackey.
Mick Mackey played before television coverage was commonplace in Ireland. But footage of All-Ireland finals from the 1930s is stored among the newsreels in the vaults of ITN. And it may include snippets of Mackey in action. For Niall, even a fleeting glimpse of his hero would be invaluable.
Here we have the 36th final, I think.
A record crowd of 51,000 packs Dublin's great stadium for the big day of the Irish.
This guy's Lord Jerk Henning.
The same 2 clubs as last year are fighting.
There's Mackey there in front. Timmy Goodbye Ryan there, third up, I'd say.
He managed it by 1 point, so this year it looks as if the fight will be tougher than ever.
It's unbelievable to see this.
Once the game is on, they all forget that they're
Mackey there now in the middle.
Right from the start, Kilkenny attack.
Judging by this photo, yeah, them are. Just see them here wailing at each other. Just they're pulling their. Nowadays, guys wouldn't have a hope of standing surviving that. There's Mackey there now again. Here's one of the finest hurlers that Ireland's ever had. He's up there himself and Christy Ring. Just like to see him, like it's kind of amazing to be honest, because you hear so much, and even just the sheer size of him, just to see him in movement.
Back home, the bloodline of the Mackey clan flows on. Skills are passed on by John Mackey's granddaughter, a Camogie All-Star.
Roll it slowly and lift it it up to around your chin and catch it there.
This is Eve Mulcahy. She is probably the most prominent camogie player. She wouldn't like me saying that now. She's the most prominent camogie player, definitely in our parish and probably in Limerick. She's very modest, as you can tell. She doesn't like me telling her all the things that she is. She's the granddaughter of famous Ahane stock as well, John Mackey. It's in the blood, as they say.
Like, I'm very proud to be related to the Mackeys. The family wouldn't really talk about it now, you know, they wouldn't actually putting too much pressure on us. But at the same time, you want to keep the tradition going in the family, and maybe to do that you kind of have to put a small bit of pressure on yourself to kind of get the best out of you.
Play reigned fast and furious. The game eventually developed into a veritable battle.
It looks like John Mackey, mixed brother. Fair detail too, I think, by all accounts. To have not had the opportunity to see this would have been tragic. This has to come home because, like, here we are in the studio and inside the middle of London. Like, this footage doesn't mean anything to anybody.
And so the gods of old come home to Ahane.
I mean, Niall Moran went to London and he managed to unearth some footage of Mick Mackey. Like, the only footage that we'd have seen of Mick Mackey is him shaking hands with Christy Ring and somewhat in one or two photographs. But now we're getting a chance to see it live.
Hope that everybody enjoys it, number one. And I suppose more importantly, I suppose that it reawakens the sense of club in all of us. The key to it is going forward, and it's the future is probably matters. And I think just to remember the people who've gone and let that be the inspiration for going forward. So I hope everyone enjoys it.
All the rain, and there was some at Croke Park, couldn't damp the ardour and enthusiasm of the huge crowds who saw Dublin meet Limerick in the All-Ireland hurling final. Hurling, a type of hockey, is a very fast game, and this match was played at a terrific speed right from the start.
Absolutely thrilled, to be honest. I suppose the reaction from all the people, both young and old, was it was a joy to behold. I just think I was sitting beside one of Mick's daughters, and just to see her kind of getting as emotional as she had, and it just brought the memories flooding back.
I mean, I've never seen him play. I never saw Dad play, you know. I'm getting tears in the eyes. It's just so, you know, when you see him after all these years, I suppose, you know, just to be there in front of you, it's just marvellous.
It's a first half of fine, robust hurling, packed with thrills that send the crowds into a frenzy.
I'm blown away by it. Just, you know, the first time I'd ever seen him moving or in motion, you know, and just the sheer size of him.
When watching it there, you get the pins and needles, tends it up the back of the neck, like, you know, the photographs they have on their wall suddenly came alive.
Oh, it was great hurling. A lot better than now. And pulling the ball, ground hurling. It was marvellous to see it.
And the end comes with Limerick winners by 5 goals and 6 points to Kilkenny's 1 goal and 5.
It was like if we were at the match. It really was. Loved every minute of it. Loved every minute of it.
So Croke Park goes home, happy in having seen one of the most brilliant finals in recent years. Well done, Limerick.
Sometimes you forget what's gone, and if you can't take motivation going forward from that, like to those guys, their lives are about Ahane and winning county championships. And whilst nowadays people feel that they have many more pressures, fundamentals are still there. It's about winning county championships. So hopefully the future will be bright.
Well, next Friday at 8:30, a new series of Off the Rails, The Complete Collection, gets underway here on One. But if you missed any of this last episode of Pride of the Parish, you can catch it again on the RTE player at rte.ie/player.